Good day. I am Margaret Chelsea Guray, a student of Dr. Rodrigo Abines in the subject Contemporary Philosophy of Education, scheduled every Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. I am here to present the nature, principles, and implications of postmodernism with the following components. First, we have the definition or the general description of postmodernism. History or what led to it from the ideologies of certain philosophers, especially the big guns of postmodernism. The salient features as further explained in the three facets of philosophy, namely metaphysics, epistemology, and ethics or value. Now here is a funny summary of each philosophical era. There's the pre-modern, which is represented by a single dot, which tells that there's a single strong belief that everything in the world is caused by divine providence. And so we seek favor and good faith from these gods and goddesses by abiding by their commandments. Now, modernism philosophical era reacted against this, for they believe reason or logic explains the things in the world. This is era represented by an upward or forward arrow because the use of logical reasoning and thinking brought about breakthroughs in the improvement or progress in various fields and disciplines. This is then opposed by the postmodernism view, which is represented by we would say many lines of different directions. These many lines which represent that there is no absolute truth and that there are many perspectives, beliefs, and ways of people that have to be acknowledged and respected. Postmodernism fights to have freedom of expression and execution of these beliefs. As a metaphor, those crooked lines show how some beliefs or ways can be dangerous or detrimental to humankind. All in all, for the formal definition of postmodernism, we have a philosophic worldview that states there is no truth to begin with, or no single truth, but rather multiple truths, and these should be accepted and respected as all individual truths should have equal opportunities. While this can be taken positively, especially in the context of school institutions, which now follows the trend of respecting diversities among students and providing to meet their diverse needs, capacities, and interests, this can also be dangerous, especially in other aspects or areas in human lives. For example, this might seem outrageous, but this is the best example I can think of. Say a person has a weird and socially and morally unacceptable sexual fetish or liking of doing something. Something like child pornography. Applying the principles of postmodernism, we have to let this person do his ways, even though we think it is evil, just because his truth should have an opportunity to be carried out by him who believes in this. It is okay to have different truths or beliefs, and we should respect each other's truths or beliefs. But that could be problematic and dangerous in the long run. Now, if you wish to learn more about postmodernism, there are the big guns. And these are Michel Foucault, Jacques Derrida, and Jean-Francois Lyotard. These are French. Now, for an American, there is Richard Rorty. Now let's go to the Enlightenment Vision, which shows in a way the history and reason of how progress resulted from modernism views, which is basically giving importance to reason and the capacity of humans to think. This is also a way to understand or be confused of why postmodernism opposes modernism. Let's start with reason and human ability to think. This value for reason were spearheaded by the big names Francis Bacon, René Descartes, and John Locke. This led to individualism set forth by John Locke, which is basically giving credit and respect to each individual person, including the formation of their individuality and abilities. Because of the ideals of individualism, it starts to honor and protect humans, which brought forth liberalism. Liberalism seeks to protect the freedom and rights of each human being. Thanks to this, finally, black slavery ended and it sought equal freedom and opportunities for women and people of color and other marginalized groups. This individualism also led to the freedom to improve oneself in many aspects. And this also led to capitalism, which is the need to improve oneself economically. Certain people rose with wealth in their hands, and with this, the power to control others. This high regard for humans and the good effects rose out of the strong belief of the human capacity to reason, to think, to perform, which shows man's independence and power to pursue happiness, which is a manifestation of progress. Now, reason also brought about science, which has turned the tables for the world in a dramatic way. As through science bloomed engineering that led to the creation of machines that made tasks easier, effective, and efficient. Then another important field, medicine and health, and their continuous progress that cure diseases and prolong the lifespan of human beings and animals. Modernism or reason brought about liberalism, capitalism, engineering, and medicine, which are said to help humankind to attain progress, which translates to happiness. Now, postmodernism comes to the picture. It is a reaction against modernism and belittles reason, saying it is not enough. That products of reason are oppressive, contrary to what it has achieved, saying there is a hidden evil intention. To understand postmodernism, let us serve it according to its relation to the three facets in learning philosophy. First, we have the metaphysics, which is, in a nutshell, makes us understand the reality, the world we are living in. In epistemology, it tells us how do we know, what are our bases for knowing. Then ethics or value tells us how to act in application of what we know and believe. I have here a table of a comparison of metaphysics in pre-modernism, modernism, and post-modernism. In pre-modernism, they believe that everything is made possible by a God. It is proven with evidences of miracles that are beyond the works and understanding of man, so man just needs to believe without question. That's realism, supernaturalism for you. In modernism, we have realism, naturalism. It says a man can make things possible for progress in response with its perception of nature or in what life offers. Not to oppose it, but to work with and around nature to reap the benefits. Examples of these benefits are electricity, plants, water, which are gifts gifts from nature and are indispensable for us humans. In postmodernism with anti-realism, it says that we cannot do everything with reason and that reason is not enough, as there are other things unexplained by reason. It welcomes other means, other ways to understand reality other than reason and of what meets the eye or what is perceived by the senses. This can be supported by what Michel Foucault, when he said, "It is meaningless to speak in the name of or against reason, truth, or knowledge. Now, the fact that there is debate proves we cannot prove it. We cannot answer it, so we just rather leave it alone. Our reality, our truth is different from others as it is influenced by our culture, our society, our past, or history. Then we have something similar put forth by Immanuel Kant when he said, I have therefore found it necessary to deny knowledge in order to make room for faith. Here, he must refer to knowledge as reason, and in order to make room for faith, that must be to be able for us to believe in God. We must deny knowledge or reason or logic. And this is when maybe we could turn to what we feel, our emotions, because that must be the answer. If logic cannot answer, then maybe it is our emotion that can. I remember this book, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, that says most men act naturally with reason, while women act according to emotions. This must be the reason why men cannot understand women, and vice versa. That is why men and women inevitably will surely fight because of this major difference. Now, it is therefore the job of each to swallow their pride, have an open mind to accept each other's differing thoughts. That must be the key to living with peace and harmony, especially for husband and wife. Now let's turn to the epistemology, which answers the question, how do we know? In pre-modernism, people are satisfied that they know because of their faith in God or gods. That is mysticism and or faith for you. In modernism, it relies on experience and reason and logic as instruments or means in the discovery, knowing, building towards progress. And in postmodernism, with social subjectivism, which tramps reason and celebrates, recognizes, and gives credit to the thoughts, ideas, emotions of a person or a group of people. This is supported by Richard Rorty when he said, the difficulty faced by a philosopher who, like myself, is sympathetic to this suggestion by Foucault's reason, truth, knowledge are meaningless. One who thinks of himself as auxiliary to the poet rather than to the physicist is to avoid hinting that this suggestion gets something right, that my sort of philosophy corresponds to the way things really are. This means a philosopher has the job to support a poet, because the role of a poet to society is to engage, to influence, and to inspire using language, ideas, and emotions. A poet lays down the realities of life in his or her lens, but it is not there to prescribe, but only to describe. Unlike a physicist or other scientists who rely on logic to sometimes explain the wonders in life. Now, next is the value or ethics. In pre-modern era, we have collectivism with a tinge of altruism, where there is focus and importance given to the belief of the collection of people, not to its individual members. That part is collectivism. Now, this works hand in hand with altruism, as there is disregard or lack of concern for the well-being of the individual members. In modernism, it is actually the opposite of pre-modernism, as this time it gives focus and importance to each person or individual. So, thus, it supports individualism. For postmodernism, we have collectivism again, but with a tinge of egalitarianism. What is this? Again, it gives high regard for the principles of a group of people with the conviction that all groups, particularly the marginalized groups, women, indigenous peoples, are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. Now, I would like to add here determinism, which dictates the actions of a person or people according to previously existing causes or factors or circumstances that happened in the past. Now, these principles are common now as applied in the education systems, as the trend now is the celebration of diversities in the class, that all students should not be discriminated but rather encouraged and supported to express their culture in a safe haven provided by the teacher, the institution, and the whole education system. In the classroom, this translates to differentiated instruction, multiple intelligences, no child left behind program, to name a few. So that's it. I hope you gained understanding of the postmodernism in my report. If you wish to learn more or clarify, you may read our watchworks on postmodernism of Stephen Hicks, which almost all of the contents in this report came from. Again, thank you for listening.